Hey ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Raynday Gaming. My name is Raynday, and I hope you guys are enjoying your time here on the channel. If you've liked it, watched a couple other videos, remember to like them, subscribe, stay tuned, because we got some good stuff coming out to you. Of course, today we're talking about the Paladins Battlegrounds, the new Battle Royale mode, and should you play it? Is this something that might intrigue you? And I want to just lay out some of the reasons why you might find this interesting. Now, disclaimer, a lot of people know or do not know, I work for Hi-Rez Studios. I'm an esports caster, so expecting complete bias for me to go and say this game is trash, no, that's not what this is about. I'm not giving a critical review. What I'm trying to do is to establish some of the differences so that if you are outside of the Paladins community, outside of the Smite community, and you don't know what this is about, you can actually see some of the differences that might attract you to play this type of Battle Royale, because I think it's gotten a lot of hype. There's definitely been a lot of articles and conversations flowing around, and I wanted to walk you all through a game just to see what it looks like and talk to you about what's going on. Now, this is obviously the start off. Everybody gets in that first little jumping huddle while everyone's loading in, and then you go into your Zeppelin. You spawn in any part of the map. The people are spawning in different parts, and you can choose to kind of choose a square that's either really populated and you'll see a lot of red dots there, or go to a place that's maybe more isolated. And that's when you start out. You go into your first location, you grab some loot, and you start building up those items. Now, these items are actually one of the key components to the game that I think sets it apart in a little bit of a different way. But what you're seeing here is 4 players doing that. And you're not seeing 2, you're not seeing 1, you're seeing 4. Now, this is one of the key components right now, is that this game is built as a squad game currently. It will be, I'm assuming, and we've heard the the owner, Hi-Rez Studios, talking about in the future is a very strong possibility for duos and solos to be implemented, but right now it's being built as a team game, very much like Paladins is, and I think that's kind of cool. That's a unique take, and if you are a fan of doing that, going into obstacles with your team, fighting to overcome those trials and tribulations, this could be something for you. I know also a lot of people are just like, I don't want to go in solo, it's kind of a lot of pressure, so this does alleviate that, and I think that's something that's interesting. As you see the first fight taking off here, they are in kind of a randomly generated map. This is actually of the Jaguar Falls kind of map currently in this alpha version that was played at HRX. And of course, they're just taking this down. Now, what you see is when they go down, they actually turn into a chicken. And that's one of the other mechanics. You don't just die, you don't down and then have to move slowly. You turn into a chicken. Obviously, you get a reduced move speed, but you can't control your character fully. Now, those chickens can be revived. They can be revived by your teammates. So if you get one chicken down and then the 3 of your other teammates end up winning that fight, they can go ahead and revive you and bring you back to normal. But if you're in the fog, and that fog that we all know that closes in, that makes the Battle Royale, if you're in that as a chicken, you will immediately go down. So make sure to don't get chicken right before the fog starts to hit. That's not a good situation. Now, the most important component to talk about, I think, early on is the fact that these are champions. They're not single kind of, how would you say, homogenous like kind of players that continuously just basically operate distinctly from their guns rather than who they are as players. These are actually different guns, different abilities, and different playstyles based on the champion that you select. And that is something that is completely unique to this game, other than other Battle Royale modes, whereas a lot of that distinction is, do I have an AK? Do I have a sniper? Do I have a shotgun? What's my playstyle? Your playstyle really here is Buck or Makoa. Do you want a turtle with a hook? Do you want a big guy who never skips leg day and seems to spend way too much time in the gym and with a shotgun, bouncing around people, healing himself up and slowing them with his net? What do you want? Or do you want a sniper that can transport or go stealth? These are the options, and that's really what's cool. You can take your Paladins experience and then transport that hero shooter experience of different champions and abilities into the game. And what you can see here is very interesting, is they're playing this fight differently because they've got a couple of long-range champions like Cassie with a little bit more open space to deal with. So who we're spectating right now, this Buck, is actually jumping in a little bit more cautiously as he continues to pick up gear. Now, as he takes him down, he keeps upgrading that gear. It's very simple. That green bar up says it's going to be better for you. That red bar down says it's not that good. And I think the trade means like, it's going to be the same, and they might have different stats to them. So that's as I understand it right now. But it also means that with these champions, you get a lot of unique engagements. What I mean by that is that when someone goes in to fight you, with 4 teammates, you don't know what that's going to look like. It could be 4 Grovers. We've seen that before, and they actually did incredibly well. But it could be 4 Inaras, and all slowing you, all putting up walls. They could be their own mini game of them building walls and hiding behind them. Very, very funny ideas, but the fact is that anything can happen. When you load into the game, you get a random selection of, I believe it's going to be 12 characters that you can choose from. Now, some people ask, well, what if I don't have all the characters? Well, they're planning on making the characters, at least I think 1 in each category, be free. So you can definitely play that. And then, of course, you can unlock certain characters with in-game currency as you get over. You can get the God Pack as well to unlock all the characters, past, current, and future, which is always like the best deal in gaming I've ever heard of. But the truth is, you know, you're able to get these characters, whether you have them or not. At least there's something you could play. So you could choose different roles that you want to either stack up. Maybe you want 2 snipers, 1 frontline, 1 healer. All these different things are options. And it changes each and every situation you engage in, because it's not just a guy who maybe has a sniper. It's a guy. It's 4 unique different champions who can interact with each other in endless ways. And that's what I love about this style. And so that's one of the big things that you may find interesting away from other different battle royales. The other thing that I thought was interesting as well is the mounts, the mount aspect. This map is huge, and when you're watching, you can see that there is not a lot of interaction that goes on in these kind of in-between moments, and it's like it's a lot of travel, but I think the travel is done in a way that's very fun. It's fun to get on this mount, to pick up that speed, to go over here. They're looking for someone else. You can see there's maybe 1 person in their eyes, and I see him to the left, but I don't think they see him. And so this Makoa, we're cutting to him and just checking out. Again, this is the pre-alpha footage, so if you are watching this and enjoying it, make sure to stay tuned, to like, subscribe. We'll be covering a lot more stuff around this, but this is just one of the matches that we had in terms of the show match at HRX. Other people have talked to me about, you know, Raynday, what is the map size? Again, it's 300 times bigger than any map that we've got in Paladins right now. And I don't know if that's going to change. Stay tuned for that. Could get bigger. Psych, I don't think it'll get bigger. Probably will get smaller or stay the same. But the mounts allow you to traverse it. And the mounts allow for, I think, just some very interesting gameplay. You can get in, you can get out, you can chase and flank in different ways as well with this mount. And everyone has access to it, so you're never stranded looking for, oh, do I need a car, or do I need to get you know, a kind of a way to maneuver quickly around this map? Do I need to do some kind of gimmick to travel the map quickly in order to get back to my teammates? No, this mount is going to help you do that very well, and I think it also creates a lot of interesting kind of, let's make sure that he can't mount up. You got to get that last shot. You have like a 2-second cast time. And as you see here, just getting blown up. Joe going in big time on this buck, and the Leon in the Enlightenment hits him back, and that's one of those interesting interactions, but he's jumping back down, and woohoo, headshots galore. And he goes ahead and hits the spray, and then, of course, that beautiful, beautiful flex right there. This chicken's trying to run away, but I don't think he's going to make it. I don't think he's going to make it, guys. And, of course, that's another one. So 22 are remaining, and he's got his ultimate. Now, ultimates in this game do not charge randomly in terms of consistent charge over the course of a game until you get it, and then you hold it. You have to do damage to charge that ultimate, so he's holding it on for a very important moment, he feels. And again, Buck Wild, not the most crazy value ultimates always. You can get a lot of value with it, but it's not guaranteed like a lot of these other ultimates in the game. So it's one of those where he's just hanging on to it, making sure that he has it, win a big engagement, win something, test him, but he's got 3 legendary pieces right now, and this is another part about it. The fighting that they've done is a lot. They have looked for engagements, and they're in a great position, and they've gotten stronger as a result of those engagements. We all know what it's like to find someone who's doing well, who's at the end of the game, who maybe takes you out and you don't see him. Nothing happens. He just, all of a sudden, you've done this whole road, and then a dude just hiding in a bathroom and takes you out. And you're like, what are you doing? Why are you hiding there? That's not what this game is about. We want you to fight. We want you to have fun and engage with people. And I think that's one of the big cruxes of what makes this, at least the current iteration of this game, very different, is that you are rewarded very, very much so for fighting, not only early, not only middle, but late. All the time you are rewarded for fighting as you're taking this gear, and this gear is really impactful into making you more of a threat late game. Now, that is kind of an iteration with other battle royales where you have, you know, better gear, better weapons, and this and that, but these aren't better weapons. These are just basically a lot of interesting aspects. So, for instance, if you have that option for going against 4 Grovers, and they're healing so much. Some of these cards give you that 90% anti-heal, so you're able to take away pretty much all of the self-sustain anyone would have. Or if there's a healer on the composition, as you can see right here, hitting them with your weapon shots would basically negate that healer's effect almost completely. So it's a very interesting kind of back and forth that happens. Some increase your mount speed, your movement speed on foot, and as you can see, Joe's got almost all legendaries here. Just one epic left. Just upgrade to a legendary before he's done. That Cassie was trying to mount up, but she cannot get away, and I think she knows that her fate is sealed right here. So they're going to turn her into a chicken, take her down, and now there's only 16 remaining as well. The Battle Royale genre has always been something that I feel has intrigued me, and ever since it's come out, like I mentioned in my previous video, why Battle Royale is so popular. And if you guys haven't seen it, make sure to check it out. Like it, you might enjoy the conversation there, because I break this down more in depth. But why we find as people, I think the Battle Royale genre interesting to play and to watch. And I think Paladins Battlegrounds is going to be a great iteration of this, and a lot of people are going to enjoy it. Again, like I said, guys, I work for Hi-Rez, but I'll be damned if I don't think that working for Hi-Rez doesn't mean that I can't find this game fun. I think this is looking and was very fun as well. And I'm not just saying this for me. At HRX, I had the pleasure, and we all had the pleasure of not only casting, but also watching the experience of the players here. A couple of YouTubers showed up with us and played this game in this iteration, that alpha build, and the atmosphere was hype. There was a lot of cool things, and I think there's something that's very right about this that I'm very, very impressed with. And, you know, of course, this is something that's still getting iterated on, but I'm very, very excited about the, you know, progression towards it. And again, it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea. It certainly isn't. Sometimes you just know that doing something different gets a certain piece of people loving it and a certain piece of people not loving it. But for those who find these points are interesting to you, I think it's something that's worthy of checking out. I know some people just want the information. They want to make their own decisions. I think that's a great thing to do. So now hopefully you understand exactly what differentiates Paladins Battlegrounds from, of course, those traditional style of battle royales. And in the future, I hope that, you know, more changes can be made, and I think that's going to always create for more and more interesting kind of takes on certain genres. So I'm very, very excited about this. But again, most of what I was mentioning prior to this was around the fact that I think Battle Royale is just a very accessible kind of thing to watch, and everyone knows that with 12 remaining, this is exciting, this is important. We know that this fight means something, and it's an open field, it's very clear, and I think part of that is like very just accessible, and that's what has garnered a lot of popularity, in my opinion, from a widespread amount of age and players and just an audience in terms of viewership. I know my dad was just talking to me and being like, you know, Evan, I just like that I could enjoy it. I like that I could watch and know what's happening. You know, the other game, I feel like, you know, you have to be a pro, you know, and he was just talking about our esports pros, which obviously to be in that game, you did have to be a pro. So my dad was definitely on to something there. But then he was also just like, you know, kind of communicating that felt like you had to know a lot more than you know here. And one interesting thing that he said to me as we get into this last engagement is that maybe he'll get lucky. Maybe you can get lucky, get to the end. Maybe it'll happen to you. And I think that's what everyone who gets into a battle royale hopes for, that maybe this game is my game. Maybe this is the one that I'm gonna take home, that I'm gonna get recorded, that I'm gonna upload to YouTube and be like 100 kills. You know, I took myself down at the end and won the battle royale, and that's gonna be, you know, my claim to fame. I think everyone is really in their heart of hearts hoping for that, and that's what makes it exciting. It's that dream that this game gives you, that you could be the last guy standing, or the last girl standing, or the last gamer standing in general. So anyways, let me know what you guys think. I'm going to be covering a couple of different thoughts heading into this week and next week about the Battle Royale genre, and of course Paladins Battlegrounds specifically. So if you want info on Paladins Battlegrounds, this is the best channel to stay on, so make sure to subscribe, like, and enjoy the content. Of course, I will be covering things like, you know, future updates, interviews with the general manager of Paladins and some of the design team, as well as I will be looking at what are the best champions, what might be the best compositions in Battlegrounds, so you can know exactly what you need to be picking up, what you should be strategizing for when this does come out. And of course, I will be talking about lore and theory crafting and things about that, about how this battleground situation will come to play and what will be the future for this. I think it's just something that's very, very enticing and very exciting to watch. So if you enjoy that, if you're a fan of Paladins, if you're not a fan of Paladins, but you're a fan of Battle Royale, remember that's what's going on this channel. So I hope you guys do enjoy your time here, and make sure to stay, enjoy it. And as always, my friends, remember to never give up, never stop gaming, and we'll see you all next time.